大家早上好。
Good morning, everybody. All right, I would like to speak in Chinese to deliver the presentation. Actually, the 101 tower in Taipei was launched into production in 2005. So from that moment on, I started to deliver different presentations at different conferences. Earlier on, I talked about the huge construction site and how it turned into a city icon. And later on, I changed the titles of my talk as it was launched into operations. So I talked about how to manage and lease the world's tallest building. Over time, as we try to apply for a LEED Green certificate, so the title of my talks became how the 101 strives to be the world's tallest green building. All right. So, our kind of a building went across different phases and stages of operations. Now we pay more attention to sustainability. So, as the tower starts to make money, and as the building already is accredited with a green certificate, then we're going to have to think how we're able to turn our building into a sustainable entity to continuously operate down the road. So how come that the super tall needs to be built in urban areas? Actually, a long time ago, it was dream of humanity to develop skyscrapers. Earlier on, it was religious reason. As we know that on the left side, this is a wooden tower in Shanghai province. In ancient times, it was probably the tallest architecture in the world. And we look at also, for example, the mosque and also the Christian church. And we want to actually build the architecture taller and taller. So earlier on, it was related to religious campaigns and undertakings. Since we started the industrialization, so there was accumulation of a capital and money that was the main driver for new skyscrapers. And now we're in the middle of economic globalization, and we have a great competition regarding urban construction, and therefore the super tall becomes a token and icon for urban modernization and progress. Especially for developing countries where, really we have the great hustle and bustle to build those skyscrapers to proof that these cities are ushered into a new phase of development. In 1997, the Taipei government, on the occasion of the coming back of Hong Kong to China mainland, and Taipei tried to develop itself into a new Asian financial center to replace Shanghai. So 3 lots of land were consolidated in order to build a financial tower on, and the major, companies in Taiwan were invited to join a bid. Usually speaking, Taiwan land is for permanent use. However, this project is very special. There is only 70-year land use right. And so within 70 years, the development team needs to build it and construct it and operate it. In 70 years, this land will be turned back or given back to Taipei government. Our goal was to build one of the tallest building in the world. It was among the first to have a height over 500 meters. Not only Taipei wanted to build a financial tower, but also to build it into a landmark in Taipei. Taiwan is a small island. So our slogan was to bring Taipei to the world and bring the world to Taipei as well. So the motivation behind is we expected Taipei to become an internationally well-known city. So today we have really a boom of those different super tall projects. I think the same holds true for other cities as well. And currently, in order to invest in this kind of a skyscraper buildings, it is not very difficult, especially in modern times. We need to have a very good technology, and also we need to have those kind of money invested. But when the construction is finished, then that's where operations come in. Actually, I already talked to some of my friends. The architects are wonderful. But however, when operational team comes in, there are still a lot of issues or problems to solve. So for my presentation, using 101 as an example, I would like to touch on the success factors in order to pull it off. For super tall in different cities, you need to have this kind of ambition to become like a landmark in the urban metropolitan area. We also should shoulder social responsibility for sustainable growth. So for investors, when you decide to make this investment happen, you need to be very determined. Be determined to turn this building into a perfect and a successful building. And upon operational phase, of course, you need to meet the following requirements before you can call it a success for operations. Safety first. For any buildings, safety always comes first. And for skyscrapers, I think that safety is critical and it is non-negotiable. Fire prevention and firefighting is an area where no mistakes could be tolerated. And the number of users for super tall and its social influence is so huge that if there are any safety incidents, the consequences are going to be disastrous. Therefore, for skyscrapers, from design to planning and from installation to maintenance, we need to be subjected to the highest possible standards and implement the standards very strictly. And for residential purpose, super tall, we're concerned there are kitchen equipment for cooking, so the fire prevention equipment must be in place, and for regular maintenance and check as well. So these are the pictures showing you the fire drill that we conduct. On the right side, twice a year, we have the fire drill and evacuation rehearsals. In addition, the operating return. One of the features of the super tall is a high investment with a long construction period, therefore high, financial pressure. Every day, the interest was over 3 million Taiwan dollars. Therefore, it may have a long payback period. So, from the very completion of the construction of the property, you need to start to count in depreciation even before you have any revenues coming in. So, from the very beginning, you're going to have to make sure you can start a revenue for your building. For 101, it is a 3-in-1, namely the shopping center, the scenic spot, and also office building. For a shopping center, 1 year before completion of the construction, actually, it already started to be launched into operation. For this kind of a scenic spot, it also started operation earlier on. And for office, the revenue didn't come in until like 05. So for office revenue, it takes some patience and time before it can materialize. And only after 05 and 06 could we have a stabilized rent income. And for operations, only by year 6, could we achieve the turnaround for profitability. I think that this was already a positive result for many super tall because back then, the mainland tourists were invited to visit Taipei, and 101 is a great scenic spot. And by year 10, could we really fill all the gap of the previous losses we suffered? When it is a as-built kind of a project, you need to rack your brain trying the best to figure out different ways to achieve as much revenue as you can. Then next, all systems and services must function properly, which is no easy job to be done in reality. Some of the experts here are from engineering background, like the lifts, elevators, also the fire water pump and insulation and a water motor, air balancing, etc. You're going to have to make sure they can be up and running according to your design with necessary adjustments done down the road. So in the middle of operations, some fine-tuning must be staged. For example, we sometimes also need to adjust some of the parameters. Taking an elevator as an example, it is a Toshiba elevators with a very smart design, but sometimes there is no human touch to it, although it is very intelligent. So we just cancel some of the previous design of the elevators. Especially upon peak hours, we have like the kind of elevators. Sometimes only by 50% load achieved could it start to operate. But once you push the button of closing the door, the function will be overridden. For Chinese people, they would like to push the button, of forcing the lift to close the door, and some of the functionalities will be overridden. In addition, we also have like some guide to guide you how to use the elevator. Sometimes you need to make some stopover at one elevator and switch to another elevator. We have a guide to tell you to do so, but sometimes people do not have the patience to look at the guide and listen to the guide instructions. So these kind of functions later on are redundant. Therefore, we just remove them. We also have like the fire water pump pressure not up to standard, and the motors need to be replaced. We conducted a testing, and we found that some standards are failed to be met. So we need to put in additional investment to replace the motors. And insulation not working, and we have to create condensed water. We adopted a new material which was kind of brittle. If there was impact or a shock from external like stress, like a screw impact, then the material will actually fail. Therefore, it couldn't achieve like insulation anymore. So there is condensed water accumulated. So we just switch back to the traditional material of insulation K-Flex.
Yeah, besides, and also for the water motor and KPMG is located in the floor of 66. At the very beginning, everything is going on well. But when the restaurant was opened above them, and then, the water is not enough. Then we have to pump the water in the morning and in the evening, every day. And then they started to complain. And we also have seen some problem with the floor. And we have also spent money to add some vibration resistant materials. Then, we can only create the water pump in order to prevent the floor vibration. Actually, this was unexpected in our design. Maybe this is still not well designed at the very beginning. And another issue is air balancing problem. It will cause some stuffy space. And in some cases, we can see that the air conditioning is not powerful enough in some places. And also in the decoration for the beauty, the decoration company will put the thermostat in some corners, and so if they are not well placed, then it means that the temperature is not well measured. So that's why there are some complaints at the very beginning. Many tenants will complain about the air conditioning because of the misplacement of the thermostat. So that's why we have a lot of communication with this decoration company. So that's why, in the later time, and the thermostats are well placed in the right place in order to have a more accurate measurement of the temperature. And we also know that the temperature will drop by 0.6 degrees centigrade for every 100 meters high. And in Taiwan, we don't have the heating system or centralized heating system. So maybe in 3 or 5 days and in one winter, and also when it is on the high floor, and also if there are very few people in the office, you will feel very cold indoor at very high floor. So for our property management companies, and then we started to add some heating devices, and we want to heat some cold air in high floors. Then we can transport these warm air into the high floors. So these are some common problems we have encountered. So more or less, we will see some problems after the handover of the tall buildings. We will see more complicated problems for these mega tall buildings. Well, I think that in the future, if possible, I think that some investment can be placed for the owners, for the property management companies, and these problems can be resolved more earlier. And actually, for us, we are a service provider, and we have different types of tenants, and for example, the consumers in the shopping mall, and also the office and tenants, and also the tourists from across the world. So that's why, our leading KPI is customer satisfaction. So at the very beginning, we have attached a great importance to the customer satisfaction. We have set up our service center and also some other service people in order to handle and deal with the complaints and also the inquiries. And we will also provide some gifts for any customers. And if they can give us some feedback, and we will also take them very seriously. And I think there's another issue very important. In addition to a relatively successful operation, I think that for the tall building, they are, for example, the tallest building is always an icon in the city or the landmark in the city. So that's why we should also lead in some movement. You know that, actually the energy consumption will be at least 40%. So I think that for all these existing buildings, we can still provide some green technologies, not just limited to the new buildings, because the prevention against the global warming is also one of our campaigns. Because we will consume a lot of energy. We have a lot of elevators. So we also have the heating system, monitoring system, and also the distribution and the backup system, etc. So they are all very energy consumers, and also for some other collection cities system, etc. And we also have very fully automated systems. And we also have a CCTV and door access systems. So for tall buildings, it is not just about larger areas. We also have more sophistication and complication of technologies and systems. Because of high energy consumption, we believe we can enjoy a lot of benefits of the convenience. But at the same time, we still have to attach great importance to energy conservation. And this is also a very important campaign to let the general public to know that we can also save a lot of energy by the new ideas and new technologies. For example, we have used the double glass curtain, and this is non-reflective double glass curtain wall, and the light will not be reflected onto the ground. We also have a very state-of-the-art energy control system, and also we have a garbage collection system. At the very beginning, we are not aware of the lead system. And after the operation, we started to know about the lead system. And for example, we have replaced all the emergency exit light to LED. And also, for the service lift or the lift for the goods. And actually, at that time, all the lights are always on for the surface lift, and then we have added the light switches for the surface lift lobby, and we have also made some adjustments. For example, we have added the light sensors. We want to make sure that in the public areas, the energy consumption for the lighting system can be minimized. And in the back offices and in the back areas, we would try to minimize the uses of lights. And also for the car parking places, so actually we have also replaced all the halogen lights. And you know that the halogen lights are also more energy consuming. So after operation, we have also changed all those halogen lights into more efficient T5 light tubes. And we started to get aware of the lead. And after 2 years of efforts, we have been granted the platinum level of lead. Well, for our operation team, so we would like to be working very painstaking. Why we would like to get lead? Because we hope that the third party can help us to have a very holistic physical checkup. So because Taipei 101 is a landmark, and we hope that we can be one of the leaders to become a green building, and also encourage other buildings to follow. So I think this is also one of our responsibilities to let everyone can be living and working in very environmental buildings. Well, in order to become the building leaders, it means that we need to have more communications with the general public. Well, you know that the tall building will be changing the life for Taipei 101 or previously Eiffel Towers and Imperial Towers. At the very beginning, there are always a lot of objections. So at the very beginning, we want to change the objection. For example, the fireworks in the New Year and also some other celebration. We have also organized a lot of activities in order to engage the general public, in order to have more dialogues, to let our general public to accept this mega building as part of their life. For example, for the climbing event, actually you will climb from the bottom to the floor 91st. So thousands of citizens will apply for this running campaign. And also at Valentine's Day, so we call it Light Up Your Love at 101, who you love. So actually this is also well received. Well, for our tall buildings, currently this level has been rented, so we are trying to find some other ways to have two-way communications with our general public. And social responsibility is very important to take care of some disadvantaged people, for example, charity. So for us, actually, we hope that all our people in this building can be one of the important source of charitable sources. And for example, actually, we have a campaign called 2 degrees centigrade because the global warming by another 2 degrees centigrade, and we will suffer more disasters. We have also organized some other sports events. And for example, on the ground floor, so this is a marketplace. Actually, this is also a charitable causes. All these donations and all those donations and collection and also those income will be used for the charitable events. Well, you know that very professional consultants are very important, so we cannot save the money on these planning stage consultants. And then also the selection of the equipment or the facilities should be based on the long-term operation for the Taiwan tall buildings. So at the very beginning, the maintenance is not well planned due to the budgeting issues. So we cannot be just save the money for the upfront expenses. So we have a very long-term financial service. So we need to have very prudent financial planning. In this way, then we can have a more sustainable growth. So we believe that in the long term, actually the ROI will be more substantial. And also for the mega and tall buildings, so actually our stakeholders is not just about our owners or the shareholders, and the government and the general public are also very important stakeholders. So that's why, so this sustainability issue is for centuries. So it is not just about profit, it is also about people. So people is about a charity. For the tall buildings, we have the responsibilities to harmonize both profit and environment, and also people. We are supposed to make contribution to the whole society. And also for a corporation, there are a lot of changes. For example, they have some products and etc. But you know that there are very few companies which can be lasting for 100 years. But I believe that the buildings more than 100 years can be even more. So we hope that we can maintain these buildings for hundreds of years. And you can see that this is an arty craft. Actually, this is a recycled material. So we call it a limitless life. So we hope that the general public can regard our building as a green building. So actually, there are some scraps, and these scraps from the building can be recycled into an art piece in front of our building. And the super tall buildings are actually Based on the successful operation, we have to align with the requirements by all the stakeholders. But more importantly, we need to take the leadership in the green and sustainability and dialogues with the citizens, and also bear our responsibilities for the whole society. And actually, we are the focal point of the skyline. We are an icon, and we hope that it is the pride of the whole citizens. Thank you for listening.